A new Division One men's tennis ranking has come out and goes as follows. I apologize for looking out because I cannot memorize all this stuff. It is a set of computer rankings, just so y'all know. Texas, Ohio State, Virginia, TCU, LSU, Mississippi State, Wake Forest, Texas A&M, Oklahoma, Arizona, Baylor, South Carolina, Georgia, Illinois, UCF, San Diego, Stanford, Florida, Auburn, Michigan State, Notre Dame, Kentucky, Vanderbilt, UCLA, and Ole Miss are the 1 through 25. I want to go over the next 15 just to give some clarity on receiving vote teams technically, and those would be like NC State, Arizona State, and by the way, no more bar or arc knock for them. He would have been court one in singles, so just a heads up there. USC, Pepperdine, Clemson, SMU, UC Santa Barbara, Cornell, Columbia, Wisconsin, Arkansas, Princeton, Yale, Penn, and Santa Clara. The next two would be like Oklahoma State and North Carolina. And if you do have a losing record, the only way you're going to get in the NCAA tournament is to win your conference tournament, because they will not allow teams below 500 to get in NCAAs, even if you're projected to be in the NCAA tournament based on ranking alone. You got to do more. Like, get up to like 500 level. And not just get the, if you do end up like being 500, you got to win a conference tournament match if you even have a conference tournament, and then you'll be fine based on ranking alone. What's the NCAA's stuff like? The cut line, I want to go with like the last four in based on at largest. Those would be Oklahoma State, North Carolina, Miami, Florida, and California. Like the last four buys technically would be Santa Clara, Penn, Yale, Arkansas, and Princeton. And this does not include like conference leaders and all this either. Now the first four out, technically Duke is there, but they're below 500. Unless they get to above 500, I would not consider them. So it's like Harvard, Michigan. Alabama is below 500, so I would not include them. If you want to include them, fine, but they had to get to 500 if not better. There is Loyola Marymount. Yeah, and then Georgia Tech. Technically speaking, on winning record or more. Now, the next four out, I'm not including Tennessee and all this. They're 10-16. And the only way they're going to make the NCAAs at this point with the losing record is to win their conference tournament, which is going to be a good luck to them to do that. There's obviously like Charlotte, Old Dominion. Florida State would be considered, actually Old Dominion wouldn't be because they were a conference leader. Never mind. So Charlotte for sure. Florida State, if they get above or at 500. There's Louisville, Nebraska, and Oregon if you don't want to include Florida State. Now, the top 8 seeds would be right now Texas, Ohio State, Virginia, Mississippi State, LSU, Wake Forest, TCU, and Texas A&M. There is a difference between like a top 8 seed and a top 16. Top 16, you only get to host the first 2 rounds for sure, and even then, it's not guaranteed you're going to go to Sweet 16. And obviously, if a top 8 seed were to lose, that and a top 16 seed that were to play that top 8 seed, and that top 8 seed does lose, the top 16 will host. And obviously, it's going to be depending on ranking, on who's going to host the Sweet 16. If it's like ranked, I mean, like not top 16 versus not top 16. So just a heads up right there. And obviously, the 9 through 16 would be Oklahoma, Arizona, Baylor, South Carolina, Illinois, Georgia, San Diego, and UCF. Though Florida is pretty close. Same thing goes for Stanford and Auburn. Michigan State, you could technically include them. So obviously, for those teams that are trying to get to like try to make sure they're in the NCAAs, you gotta avoid bad losses as much as you can. And I know there's not a lot of regular season matches left, especially for three of the Power Four conferences. The regular season will be done after this week. Then there's conference tournaments. That's pretty much what it is at that point. And obviously, if you win your conference tournament, you're making the NCAAs, and it kind of same thing applies for if you want to be a top 8 instead of just top 16. You got to make a run in the conference tournament, if not win the remaining matches in the regular season, just to even be top 8. And honestly, if you're a top and avoid bad losses, and the same thing goes for if you want to stay a top 8, you got to avoid bad losses and you got to win as much as you can. So I just wanted to go over that real fast. Now, my top 10 for Division I men's tennis goes as follows: Texas, Ohio State, Virginia, TCU, LSU, Wake Forest, Mississippi State, Texas A&M, Oklahoma, and Arizona. And I would give Arizona the edge over Baylor right now because of the head-to-head factor. And they also beat TCU. And what's crazy is Arizona is currently the Big 12 leader right now in men's tennis in conference. Yeah, I know. It's not TCU. Outside looking in would be like Baylor, South Carolina, Georgia, Illinois, UCF, and San Diego. And I know Baylor has some good wins this year, but they have that bad loss against SMU. That's the only bad loss they have on the year. If they would have beat SMU, I think they might have been in the top 10, but not so sure. Same thing goes like losing to Illinois on the road. But they already beat Wake Forest once. There's no shame to that, especially it was on the road. And they beat them the match that literally like that week before, like that Saturday before they played them like 8 days later in a rematch. So yeah. So you guys get the point about this. So anyways, if you like this content, like subscribe and see you guys later on the Reddit. 800 subscribers, course ultimate goal. It's 1,000 more. So I'm going to this course like video. Comment video really helps YouTube algorithm. Some more see sharing the videos up as well. So more people can watch. And if you're watching and not subscribe, hit subscribe button. It's free. Hit the notification bell as well.